Yo, what's good, boys? We're back with another video. As you can see, today we took a break-even trade in the morning, so nothing crazy going on there. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Break-even was kind of freaking trash, but I mean, what could you do? Trump was speaking to Zelensky. They're making some plans about, the war and trying to end it. So had a huge effect on the market on the open. And if you trade, break any type of breakout strategy in the open, you saw the consolidation, you saw the fake out, you saw the kind of like price didn't really. I really thought we were gonna break it out. We can go over it at the end of this video, actually, if I remember. But yeah, pretty much today was okay. And this video is about how do I determine the trend, right? So you guys, when it comes to this strategy, you have to understand that the way I determine the trend is going to be different from someone else's strategy. So if you haven't watched my strategy breakdown on how I trade, what I look for, it's here. I literally pulled it up. This is my YouTube follow. I don't know why you're watching it and not subscribing. Like, bro, help a buddy out, bro. So obviously this is it's it here. My day trading strategy dropped it 2 weeks ago. Um, Go watch this video if you haven't. It's gonna give you pretty much a full breakdown, and all the videos pretty much that I've posted since are going to give you some type of direction of how the strategy works. I break it down in each video, give free value like usual, and how we implement the strategy and how you can learn it too. So today we're going to be going over how to determine the trend, right? How do we know when the markets are changing? How do we know what to look for? Where's price at before we're going to press buy before the open, right? So pretty much how we're going to determine this is trend lines, right? This is how I usually do it, or support and resistance levels. As you can see here, we have it's going to be 625. This is a 625 candle. We trade the open. So pre-market, I'm marking up obviously support resistance levels on the 5 minute. We see that we have clear support here. Um, we have pretty strong support here. So, but it's really all, we have this support. We have this. We broke these resistance, these highs, right? But we seen that price came up and we pushed up, took out the liquidity that was sitting here, right? Which is these highs. So we know that prices, it's either gonna continue up because it took out these highs, or we're gonna see the open take out and break this. We'll see the open come break this trend line, and then we can take out the support level and drop, and we'll get our sell positions and whatnot. But as you can tell, if you just came back from watching the strategy, in this specific setup, we ended up taking a breakout for buys. The market kind of just continued up, played around, but obviously continued up. As you can see, you could take this trend line here. I'm pretty sure this was a day I lost. But on a usual day, when the open happens like this, you would obviously have your candle marked up for your 25 points. And but for this example, this was a loss, so it didn't have that really continuation like we usually do. But we can check it out right here. Pretty sure this is the loss I took last week, where it just kind of just consolidated. But we can see if the market gave you it. Yeah, it gave you an entry here. So I'm pretty sure I got in here, and then we have our 25-point entry. Bless you. Bless me, guys. Sorry, I'm freaking sick. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm still making this banger for you. But yeah, pretty much this setup one. It didn't continue up. It did exactly what I said it was gonna do. I thought I was gonna do the opposite, but I forgot. Um, but as you can tell, we literally did exactly what I said we were gonna do. You know, before market open, market opened. Oh my lag, the lag. Yeah, like I said, we had our trend line drawn up. Obviously, we're in the uptrend, and usually when the open comes, we're gonna wait for that 25-point push up or down, and it gave us a better confirmation because we broke this trend line and we had a solid close with this candle. So we seen that happen. We're in those sell positions and we won, right? So that's one example, right? So pre-market, you had obviously your break of these highs. You took out, we had that really heavy support, came out, broke these highs, took that liquidity. We couldn't continue it up, but what it did, it decided to come down, break this trend line, and we took out that support level. And that's the first example. That's like how I determine the trend for the day. Like I said, it's either like pre-market, obviously I'm looking, I'm like, okay, we had the clear uptrend, we broke these highs, we can continue up, like I said. But the real indication is, our 25-point push up or down, like I said before, and it never pushed up 25 points as you see. And, you know, we got our entry, and let me mark it up better so you guys can actually see the candle, right? So we put it on the wick. If you watch the strategy, we have our 25-point entry level here. Let me get it right. Right, we have our 25-point entry. And we didn't end up getting it until later, like here. I'm gonna just mark it up because it's gonna come down. Right, so we have our 25-point indication there, and it didn't get us in here, it didn't get us in here, so we're waiting until it comes down to this red, right? So we come in, boom, we got our entry there. Entry would be here, 25 points. We would take this off. We would go for that 1 to 2 ratio, like I said before. And then year one, and obviously you could hold longer if you want, but like I said, we got the confirmation, broke the trend line, got our entry here, right here, strong closed candle, came out, took out that support. So it was a beautiful setup. Um, so yeah, and then our second example is this, right? So we have this resistance pre-market around 630, 625, right? We have this clear uptrend, the market trending up. We kind of broke this high, making higher highs, higher lows. Um, so we're creating this uptrend with time, right? We also have this, pretty strong support here, right, that we have. And I'm looking at this, right? I'm analyzing all this pre-market, but the real, indicator of where the market really wants to go is going to be whether the candle pushes up or down 25 points. But I could have a kind of a clear way. Like, okay, we have all this liquidity here. Okay, we have this support that needs to be taking out. Okay, we have, we're obviously on the uptrend. Will we continue the uptrend, or we're going to go down, or we're going to break this trend line? And let's see what this does. As you can see, clear continuation. Didn't want to break the trend like last time. We took out this trend. We're already creating that uptrend pre-market. And then you would get in your position here, like I said before. You would have your 25-point stop loss. And then you would get for that 1 to 2. Um, and you hit it. And you can honestly get a 1 to 3 every time, 1 to 4. Just depends how. Honestly, I back tested it, over a couple of months. And yeah, you were consistently getting your 1 to 3s when it's breaking out. But there was like one day where you didn't get it. So honestly, I should be getting 1 to 3s, but I just get 1 to 2 because I don't like to be greedy. I'm just in and out of the market at this point. So I feel like when it comes to that, I'm kind of just chill on it. So that was one example, right? We had a clear indication of this resistance be taking been like let's replay it, right? This is 630 here. We have this clear indication of this resistance taking out pre-market. We have this clear uptrend that we're creating on the 5 minute. We also have, a lot of gaps to fill above, so we can do that. But even here, we also have, a lot of gaps above. So the market just wanted to go up, and we got that entry, and we got our win that day. So that's how I would read the market. Obviously, before I got in, we have this trend line, we have these support levels on the 5 minute that we can completely take out. But let's just see what the open, and obviously the open gave you a win. And this is going to be that was the second example. That's really all I look for. Nothing crazy, nothing too hard, because when you start looking at, really, really, really these, high levels or whatnot, you can get confused. And obviously I could, turn on session highs, session lows to see where London closed, see where Asia closed, and we can try to take out that liquidity from that session high. But I'd rather just not do it. I like the way I trade. I like my strategy, and it's proven me right. We're about to get this payout. So as I continue to do it, that's just what we're gonna do. And until I need to change it or adjust to what the market's giving me, we'll do that. But as you can see, this is an example of consolidation, right? So it's what 625 market's about to open. I'm marking up my levels and whatnot. I see that we have a clear resistance level here with these highs and even this high liquidity. We have this bottom support that was created. We also have these gaps, below that we see. But there's no clear trend. There's no, trend going like that. It's kind of like I said, it's just choppy. We're kind of like moving within this range here. So when I see that, obviously I'm drawing up, these levels here. And, I'm just really, really waiting for that 625 candle close, like the strategy said. And that would be the 625 candle. Like I said, we closed underneath the support. We took out that liquidity from that support. Obviously, I would have my 25-point indication for my entry here. Um, exactly like so. And then we have this. There is no clear trend pre-market, right? Market just opened, kind of gave us a direction that we closed beneath this support. There is no trend line that we can draw up because there is no trend. So obviously my entry would be here when that candle gave us it. Candle gave us it here. Entry point would be here on the 5 minute. We would have that 25-point stop loss for ourselves. Take this off, and then we would go for that 1 and 2. And you would get it. Boom, you got another win there. And like I said, you could hold, for that 1 to 3, like I said. Um, and you got it here again. And even sometimes you'll get that 1 to 4, just depending on the day. And in this case, you got, let's just say you held all the way till 9 a.m. In California time, because I live in California. So you know, let's just see how long if you held this trade for one day. Or let's just say till 1 p.m. till market close. So if you held it till market closed, market close one. Let's see. It's like right there. Okay, so you would have got out there. You would have got a 1 to 7, 1 to 16. So let's say you risk $500. Let's see how much money that would be. I ain't doing the math, coach. I'm gonna use my calculator. So let's say you risk 500 times $500 times 16. You would have made $8,000 in one trade in one day if you held for like a couple hours. So that's what I said. Sometimes the strategy is OP. Um, it just depends how long you hold. You guys can do the back testing. I just like my 1 and 2. I don't really care about holding. It's just the way I am. And maybe in the future I'll change my mind, but that's pretty much it. That's how I kind of mark up my levels. Nothing crazy. The strategy speaks for itself. The strategy cooks. You just gotta be patient. I didn't really trade a lot last week. I didn't even trade one day. I kind of took all the whole week off just because Trump was speaking every day. And guess what? If you traded this strategy last week when Trump was speaking, you lost every single time. I think there was one day where you like won. But yeah, I mean, it's just better to play patient, guys. This game is hard for a reason. It's because most people fail. And, I know a lot of people that trade breakouts during the open and they're all complaining, they're like, what is these markets, But it's just because Trump. And that's just the reality of it. You're going to have to cut corners. You're going to have to, get around it. But you guys just go check out the channel. I run up these videos, a lot of free value in them. This is a channel. Follow me on Instagram, John X Moon. I'm gonna put a link in my description to my free Discord. I trade in there. I'll call out some trades in the morning, obviously when I'm trading. 6:30 a.m. California time or West Coast. And then, whatever time you trade, whether East Coast, whatever. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're gonna show up tomorrow. I'm a live trade to upload. Um, and actually, let's just go to the Discord real quick. This is kind of the Discord. I'm gonna show you boys and girls, whoever's watching. Obviously, I freaking love you, dude. Like, holy crap, you're watching my videos. Like, thank you, bro. But obviously, I always post my live trading videos in the chat. There's like one person that likes it because my community is pretty small, guys. We need to grow this, okay? But yeah, just join it. We're gonna freaking go crazy. We're gonna get these wins. And be on the lookout for the trading video tomorrow. We're gonna be posting that live trading. Watch the one I did today. You'll see how I got out the trade at break even, and how I managed it. So yeah, check out that video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Just continue to keep grinding. We need to stay busy. We need to stay active. Trading is not everything. Building your mind and staying focused on what you love is more important than anything, right? Family, friends, and whatnot, and building good relationships, I would say. So just stay grinding, stay in the gym, stop being a fat ass, put the ice cream and hot Cheetos down, lock in. It's time to get jacked. It's time to make this bread. It's time to change our lives. So I'll see you boys later. You guys have a good one. Everybody be safe. Peace.